All right, so here we go. Today is episode 1 of the Ruthlessly Curious podcast. I'm excited to be with you today. And I think to kind of kick things off, the great thing about this first episode is it's going to be raw, it's going to be uncut, and you'll probably get to see me fumble over some words and really get to see me think in real time. And so let's get into it, right? So why a podcast? Well, for the last probably 3 or 4 years of my life, it's been a way for me to really gather information, gather data, learn from people that I admire that I don't have close proximity to really stand on the shoulders of giants, create my own ideas and my own beliefs and my own values, but then take those principles and those values that I learned from other people and take them and apply them. And I think the big thing that I want, or the big idea that I really want people to think about or to take away from the things that I say or the content that I create, whether it's on a podcast or whether it's in writing format, is I'm literally like an uneducated redneck from East Dublin, Georgia. And if I can do the things that I've been able to do in my life and really push my boundaries and really push my limits to the point where I can help build a really great community, a fitness community that is, and I can really build great relationships with people in my life. And and obviously I have 2 little boys, and Natalie is my wife, and she is just amazing and beautiful, and the Brady and Palmer. And I just want people to understand, like, everything that you want is on the other side of hard work. And I want this to be a place where people can be vulnerable and ask questions and learn and create the absolute best version of who they're supposed to be. And, you know, I think the biggest, so that's why I'm doing it. So the next thing is this all started because not only did I want to sort of stand on the shoulders of giants and share things with the world, but I think the biggest takeaway for me was I wanted to leave something behind for my boys just in case something happened to me. And I used to get really emotional when I talked about that. And now I can just talk about it freely. And I'm very comfortable with my mortality. And I know that it's coming. And I know that it's coming much faster than I realize. And so for me, it's about living to the best that I can possibly live, and taking my God-given talents and then taking the skills that are subsets of my talents and taking them and applying them to my life so that I can present the best version of me. And I think that if we all do that, we have no idea the positive energy and what we can do for the world and how we can create a better community, and we can cohabitate with other people that don't have similar values, but yet they also want to present the best version of who they want to be, but they want to do it a different way. And this is really about giving people permission to explore those really big ideas and wrestle with the things that sometimes that are hard to wrestle with. And so my life experience and owning businesses and making lots of mistakes and really falling flat on my face so many times. And this is going to be a platform to share that with other people. And I am super passionate about coaching. I love connecting with the people. I love doing the big dive on like what's really going on. And that's where I'm going to spend, the rest of my life, which is coaching and serving and helping people create the absolute best version of who they're supposed to be and who they want to be. And I feel deep down, it is my personal responsibility to do this. And I feel like it's my calling. And if I don't do this, I'm going to always wonder what what if I'd have just tried it? And what if I, and I think I don't want to be that person that lays down in 60 years in my bed thinking about all the things that I wish that I would have tried. And this is the next evolution for me. This is the next step in my journey of giving God access to the best version of me, so that I can be a vessel for his love and his light, and that maybe I can have a small impact or a small influence in a positive way in my small community that I have. And if nothing else, then I can just be the best husband. Maybe it'll allow me to be the best husband that I can possibly be, and to also be the best father that I can possibly be. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to think about over the last 10 years on sort of my journey of wanting to just share a fitness experience with people because it changed my life, to now wanting to go and build out other platforms so that potentially it will encourage people, give them permission to be vulnerable, give them permission to ask questions. And I'm not saying that I have the authority. I think the biggest thing for me is Ruthlessly Curious really stems from this idea of not having any authority, and trying to recognize who does have authority outside of God. And I think if we can wrestle with those ideas and then find other people that we can connect with and talk to and share ideas and create a better experience, and we can disagree and really just understand that everybody's at a different season of life than we are. And at each season of life, you're going to have a different tool that you use to overcome the obstacles that you're faced with during that season. And right now, more than ever, I just think it's so important to recognize that we're all human. It's easy to make mistakes. We are all going to make mistakes. But we got to show up. We got to show up and be the best husband that we can be, the best father that we can be. And now's the time more than ever. And I had a friend the other day that told me, for those that don't, if you see this at a later date, it is October the 23rd, 2020, and our country has been faced with the biggest pandemic of our lifetime. Some people have lost their businesses, some people have lost their lives, and we've all lost something, a sense of freedom. We've all been exposed, whether it was financially, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually. And I think during the exposure or during our loss of whatever it is that we lost, we've had the time to reflect and look back, or hopefully, on things that we could do better and things that we probably wouldn't do again, right? So I think moving forward, post this experience for me, the biggest thing for me is I just want to be the best husband and the best father I can possibly be, and show up in a way that allows me to serve my family, but also allows me to serve my community. And I take that responsibility very serious. And the story that I was going to share, and I lost the thread, but I got it back, is I recently have a friend that had COVID. And one of the things that he was telling me this past week was, he said, Eric, I think people just need to take this virus a little more serious. And I completely agree with that. But here's something that I'm going to add on to that, which is I think everybody should take everything serious. It doesn't matter if you're taking your buggy back from a shopping experience from Walmart or Home Depot, if you're going inside the store and you're coming out and you take the groceries out of your bag, there are people that leave their buggies right where their car was at instead of going and putting it back to where it was supposed to go. That's called personal responsibility too. And I'm not making a joke. That's just how serious I take my life and my responsibility. So the same science that's telling us to wear a mask, to socially distance, to not be in crowded areas of 50 people or more, or whatever the case may be, is the same science that's been telling us for the last 10, 15, 20 years that we should sleep a little bit more, that we should eat better, that we should drink more water, and that we should exercise. So now all of a sudden, everybody wants to take it serious. But if you were taking it serious before, you may actually have less adverse reactions and a negative consequence to being exposed to the virus. Now is one of the most interesting times of our life. And we get to share it with so many different people. My goal is to continue having conversations with great people, interesting people, so that they can also share their experience with you, so that you can ask questions and that we can learn together. I have this perpetual student mentality, and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. And I look forward to sharing and gathering and creating a better experience. I look forward to making many mistakes. I look forward to falling flat on my face. And through that process that I get to learn, and I get to connect, and I get to grow, and all those other good things. So I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited to share this experience with you. And that's episode 1. So I will say, maybe for some homework and some action items is, maybe one of the things that you can think about is, what are you ruthlessly curious about? And what is it that you're learning right now? And how, I think the big questions that I wrestle with all the time, which is, what is my contribution right now to my family, to my community? I always feel like at the end of the day that I'm just not good enough. I don't know. There's part of that is deep rooted in some insecurities that I have about things that happened to me whenever I was younger, things that happened to me whenever I was in college. And as we continue to grow through this experience of the podcast, I'll be sharing some of those moments with you, so that you can also understand that this is not easy for me. Doing this is not easy. I was so nervous before I started this camera today. And, I know that I have nobody to edit this. I have no one to cut out anything that I said that was silly or stupid, or I fumbled over my words. But here's the thing about life. And this is the other takeaway that I want you to have today. You got to get the reps in. You got to get the reps in. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever it is that you're trying to build or grow, it's a relationship, it's a business, whatever it is, you got to get the reps in. You got to make the mistakes. I'm super stoked. I'm excited. So I love you all very much. And if you've had the time to listen to the 15 minutes that I've put together here, I sincerely appreciate it. And I hope that you've learned something today. And I think you'll learn something moving forward. So thank you guys. Y'all have a great day.